What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo industry video. In this one I want to be kind of covering the next step of what we're going to be working on, and our ventures are still processing 28 days before we see those, but we're going to be covering the Squall, the new transport ship, and also we're setting up to do some invention to turn the Squall VPO into Deluge and to Torrent, and then potentially make those and things like that. So as you can see here, my character is currently sitting in the Squall. I want to kind of go over this ship a little bit. I did a little bit of kind of fitting and kind of comparing this to like the crane and also the bustard and stuff. Well, that's kind of like apples to oranges for the most part, because those ships are blockade runners, and this is just an D-Space transports, and this is just a normal hauler. But right now you're probably wondering, like, why am I even going to be like using a Squall if we're just doing like high sec industry? But one of my biggest goals is going to be in this series start doing a really in-depth high sec PI series, and so the infrastructure hold on these can actually hold planetary commodities. So right now I'm still working on skills, but I'm sitting at about 54,000 cubic meters on the capacity for that. I still have Upwell Hauler 3 to do, and also you can see I have custom code expertise in here as well. That will help lower the Concord tax for the customs office when we start getting into PI and everything. So just really briefly, I want to just kind of cover what we're going to be setting up here in the next couple days. As you can see here, we have the Squall BPO in for, I put it in for like 22 hours after getting it yesterday. Just 5 runs. It'll get it about 10%, or it'll get it 5% on the material research. Now we're going to be putting this immediately into copying once it comes out in 12 hours, and then once it gets copied, we will send it over to put it into invention. So we're going to go here into this window, kind of show you the process here. So when we go into copying, keep in mind our research level in the BPO has nothing, the research and the time efficiency on the copy will have no effect on the Deluge or Torrent BPC when we get it. So we're really only putting that into for research, because we are probably going to make quite a few Squalls and things. So one thing you're going to have is you're going to have Upwell encryption methods 1. I had to go to JITA to get this book off market. You can't just get it directly. You also need Upwell Starship Engineering 1. These are like 30 minutes each, but I trained them up to like 2 or 3. I'll probably train them a little bit higher. But you need those 2 skills in order to actually put this into invention for the Deluge and the Torrent. So it also requires data cores, so it requires molecular engineering and also Upwell Starship Engineering. I am planning on doing like 100 runs, so either like 50 Deluge and 50 Torrent, or most likely I'll probably only ever use Deluge, so we might do just like 100 run on that. So I bought 800 of each of these. I'm also not going to use like the really expensive decryptors. I'm going to be using accelerant decryptor here. When we actually get into it, gives us a plus 20 on the probability chance, and then max run is plus 1, and material efficiency is plus 2, and then time efficiency is plus 10, because we don't necessarily need a ton of these BPCs, and we really just want to kind of get a few of them made for our own use, and anything extra we'll end up selling on the market and everything. But these I went ahead and just bought these data cores because I'm not really doing exploration right now, and I'm not doing R&D, so it was just easier and more efficient for me to just get these off the market, and they're relatively inexpensive. I would say 100 runs is probably a little on the high side for what anybody would probably be doing getting started at a base solo industry level, but I figured since I was making the trip, we'd just get enough to do quite a bit of runs on that. So next episode we will go through the copying process. We'll put this in for copying. We'll talk a little bit more and everything, but I really just want to make this really quick episode to kind of outline and kind of showcase the ship. I also have a skinner on this. I've been messing around with the skinner utility a little bit with the daily login rewards. I was able to actually like get one kind of put out So this is the skin I'm currently using right now. But in terms of overall looks, it's, you know, very boxy. But when it comes to being like a hauler, it does look very much like a hauler. Like it has these, you know, compartments and everything, and it doesn't look too bad. The base colors are kind of obnoxious, but these are much quicker than running around in like a bus dart or something. So this is how I have it fit right now. This was a lot more tankier yesterday before the patch notes came out today. So I'm running heavy assault missile launchers. It has a bonus now that has a reduction for heavy missile and heavy missile launchers and stuff. And then got some tank on here, and then damage control with inertial stabilizers and just some, you know, Tech 1 core defense extenders. So we sim this fit as it is right now. We're about 72 all minimum, and then about 37,000 EHP here. And that's the other thing too about these new haulers is, like, normally with the crane, the bus dart, and things like that, I would especially the crane, I use the crane a lot for PI and just general moving stuff around. I would have to make the decision, you know, if I wanted faster align time, to swap out the lows for inertial stabilizers, or if I was doing interplanetary stuff and I wanted the 12,000 cubic meters, I'd put expanded cargo holds on. What's interesting about these new haulers now is we don't necessarily need to make that decision anymore, because the expanded cargo holds are not going to affect the infrastructure hold, which is where we're going to be putting all of our PI. Obviously, we won't be able to put general stuff in here. Like the crane is really nice for, like, you know, carrying package or packaged ships, like mining ships around. I run rigless on a lot of stuff to move things around like that, so that's not really possible with these. But when we're strictly talking about using the infrastructure hold for what it's worth, we can pretty much stick to inert stabilizers in the lows and not really ever have to be worried about having expandeds in there, because we, even right now, we have 3,000 cubic meters in this hold, so that's good enough for, you know, ammo and command centers and things like that. If I had to compare using the Squall versus like something like the Epinol is still pretty decent in the fact that it has like a 9,000 cubic meter. It can carry 9 command centers, and then it also has, you know, I think a significantly larger planetary commodities hold too. As far as aesthetics go, both those ships are really ugly. I mean, the Epinol looks like a vacuum cleaner, but I think the Squall is a lot quicker from point A to point B, which is very, very important when you're doing that kind of stuff. But also, if you're out in null and you're doing any sort of, like, you know, crazy industry or PI, you're probably moving ice products around as well. So the infrastructure hold will actually allow you to move those things around as well. They also added some more stuff that are able to go into these holds as well. So you can now put stand-up fighters in there. You can now put ammo for the structures in there and things like that. So I think you just gotta look at it in terms of, like, these new ships are support utility ships for structures and basically I don't know, I guess the admin side of, like, nullsec, right? But I'm gonna be using it for PI. I think they're gonna be great PI ships. Might not necessarily keep using the Squall for PI. It'll probably end up being the Deluge, just because it can have covert cloak and stuff like that. And I have cloak on this, but we're at 6.33 align time on this thing, which is a lot better. We would do like 3-second align time on a crane with about 9,000 cubic meters to pull out. So I think if we're only picking up PI every few days, we can utilize the space and that we have available here. So, not to make this video longer than it needs to be, just going to give you guys kind of an update on where everything's at. So just kind of like recap, we're going to get Squall done with research, put it in for copying, then put it in for invention. Also, I'm going to be putting in max runs for all the shuttles. I'm still mining the Veldspar for that. So we're going to be going in here and doing the max amount runs, so 795 runs per. So I got to get out there today and do some mining. We need about 8 million units of trit right now. So, you know, be working on that a lot today. But thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.